Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm ToyaRenee and this is ToyaRenee Talks. If you're new around here, I want to welcome you to my channel. So today, as you can tell by the title, we're going to talk about 10 things you should know about your partner. Before I get into this, I do want to let you guys know a little bit about me. Once again, if you're new, I do post videos about vlogs, story times, inspirational content, relationship advice, dating advice, and even more than that. I also post shout outs and a little bit of almost everything. So once again, I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Without further ado, let's get into this topic. So number 10, you should know how your partner deals with emotions. Now this can be a range of emotions. So how does your partner handle anger, sadness, or even happiness? Do they throw things when they're angry? Do they get violent when they're angry? Do they raise their voice or yell at you or disrespect you when they're angry? These are things that you need to know because it will play an essential role in the long term or short term of your relationship. So even though anger is a major one, like I said, sadness and happiness, how do they handle that as well? Do they express their sadness to you? Do they hold it all in? When they're happy, how do they express that? What do they consider that you do that makes them happy? So all of these things and more you need to dig into and need to know about your partner. Number 9, how do they get along with their family? Now, let's just be honest. If they grew up with a close family, or even if they grew up with one or two, or maybe not many, their family more than likely is important to them to some aspect. So the way they treat their family is the way that you want to pay close attention to, because if they can treat their family in a good way, a great way, an excellent way, or a bad way, this is what you may be getting into. And if they can treat someone closest to them in a certain kind of way, then that's a great idea into how they're going to treat you. Number 8, how do they manage money? So finances, of course, are important in a relationship because, hey, we have to find a way to support ourselves and each other. So how do they handle when there's little money and their responsibilities when it comes to that? That will determine how they will handle when there's a lot of money, or what are they spending it on? What is important to them in terms of how they spend their money and where they spend it, and how much should that go into your relationship? You want to support them when they are low on funds. All of these things you need to discuss and you need to know, because it will play a major part in your relationship. And one of the main factors of breakups is when financial situations aren't right. So make sure you have that discussion. Political views. So it's very common for people to have different political views, and that's okay. But when the political views cause a problem in the relationship, or it's something that you don't see eye to eye on, it can be difficult, very difficult. So make sure that you know at least what their political views are and discuss it with them so you can see, well, is this something that we can agree on, or something that's going to be a major conflict or problem in our relationship? Because, for instance, if you're with someone who supports immigration, then say, for instance, your family is full of immigrants or something like that, you don't want to let it cause a problem. So that's why it's so important to discuss this and how it would affect your relationship. Number 6, spiritual views. So do they believe in a higher power? If so, what higher power? If they don't believe in anything, you need to know this stuff. Because if you don't know what they believe in, or how they view the world, or where they believe their source of inspiration comes from, then you don't really know them, do you? You want to make sure that this is something that you discuss, because it could play a role in, for instance, if you're a Christian, if you go to church or not, how you celebrate your faith. If you have different faiths, how is that going to affect if you have children, and how are they going to choose which faith they want to go to, if they want to choose any faith. Like, it can go deeper and deeper into this, but I just want to suggest that you really dive into whether they have a spiritual faith belief or not, and you should know how to handle that if it's something that you don't agree with. Number 5, the roles you play in the household. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, do you know if your significant other or your partner wants you to stay home and do all the housework, or if they agree to you going out to work? Are you both going to work? Like, how is this going to work together in order to make the relationship stronger and easier? So make sure that you have this discussion as far as if you plan to live together. What roles are you guys going to play? And if you have kids, how are you going to support them in terms of, are you going to stay home with the kids? Are they going to stay home with the kids most of the time? Are you going to work from home so that it can be more time to watch them? Like, all these things you're going to have to discuss so that you can be more compatible in that area and know where each other stands. Number 4, what will or won't they do when it comes to chores? Are you willing to take out the trash? Are they willing to wash the dishes? Are they willing to clean the bathtub? And what kind of extent do they consider what's clean? So cleanliness is so important, and you also want to make sure that with the chores that you're doing, that they're willing to do some too, and what are the chores that they're willing to do. Because sometimes some people would believe that you are supposed to do this because you're a certain gender, or they would say something like, well, I don't want to do this, I was not raised to do this. Even when it comes to cooking and cleaning, what are the roles that you play in that? And what are the roles that they play in that? So you should know this about your partner, because it's going to affect and could cause like little pet peeves in the beginning, but it can really blow up and be something major in the end if it comes to an end. This is a major one, you all. What is considered a deal breaker for the relationship? For example, a lot of people feel like cheating is a major deal breaker, which is true. I agree with that. But to what level do you consider cheating? Is it at the level of flirtation? Is it at the level of secretive text? Is it at the level of going all the way? You know, like, what do you feel is a deal breaker? Or is it, when I talked about like earlier points, someone who doesn't know how to handle their money, or someone who doesn't know how to provide? So you need to talk about what is the deal breaker in your relationship, or what could be a deal breaker, something that you absolutely will not tolerate, and you need to know what your partner will absolutely not tolerate so that you can be on the same page, so that there are no problems when it comes to that. Alone time. So this can be divided into 2 parts. The first type of alone time that I'm talking about is when you are with each other by yourselves. And what kind of alone time is too much? What kind is too little? Like, in terms of affection in public, what kind of things make you uncomfortable when it comes to that? Are you ready to do certain things or not do certain things? And how long are you willing to wait to do those things? Like, these are important topics that you need to discuss, because it will determine your direction in your relationship. And the second kind of alone time that I want to talk about is with yourself. How much alone time do you need away from your partner? Are you guys working together? Are you just living together? And when you are and need your own personal space, how do they and you express that? That's so important. Before I get to number 1, I do want to let you guys know this video is mostly for people who are in relationships, but I do have a video about how to, or questions you should be asking when you are dating. Now for number 1, how does your partner receive love? Now, I've talked about in other videos as well about love languages and how it's expressed and how it's received. So when I talk about how does your partner receive love, you have to know that sometimes it's not the same way that you receive it. And some things could be considered hurtful if you're not careful. So you want to make sure that you discuss how, or at least learn how they receive love and what they consider to be a loving gesture or action. Well, people, this is the ending of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something that will help you either now or in the future with your significant other, that will help them to better understand you and you will better understand them, and hopefully you guys have a wonderful, long-lasting relationship. Once again, I'm ToyaRenee. This is ToyaRenee Talks. If you like what you see, like what you hear, and want more, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell when you do subscribe so that you will be notified when new videos post. Videos will post every Friday and Monday now, so make sure to tune in to them as often as you can and as soon as they come up if you like. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Love you much. Bye.